represents peace to all who come into her view. Peace is when you don't have to fight for freedom and no one will stand in your way. But we need to be engaged and know what is happening in the world is to protect our freedoms and community. We also need to know when our rights are being threatened by the people in power. We must keep the power of our government out of the hands of the criminals. Power represents the control of democracy. Power allows you to save yourself because you are smart and don't need others to tell you how to live. It allows you to vote. Instead of being mean to other people, we should try to be polite, patient, and show respect to everyone. This is the ideal of protecting democracy.
For more than 3 decades, the Actors Theater Workshop has utilized its theater education techniques to give individuals, especially at-risk and homeless youth, the tools needed to realize their potential and change their lives.
A theater is a center of a community because theater represents the struggle that's going on in the community or the world. That's what a theater is. A theater is a place that you go to see the conflicts of that community played out in a positive way.
Hi, I'm Christopher. My name is Victoria and I'm 13 years old. Hi, my name is Zaire.
I want to be a fashion designer, a singer, and a scientist.
A lot of kids with problems nowadays, and I really want to be a part of helping to resolve that problem.
You guys told me that there was more to me than just a shy little girl, and that's helped me throughout all my interviews, through school, and through the jobs that I'm holding now. And it's because of the Actors Theater Workshop and people like you, leaders like you, who've helped mold me and helped me to be the person that I am and the person that I plan to be in the future.
You have to have a vision of what you want in life. Start formulating that vision now. Meaning, what do you want to be?
With us today from the Actors Theater Workshop is founder and artistic director Thurman E. Scott and Sulima Arzu Brown, a graduate of the program. Thank you both for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you for having us.
So nice to meet you. Man, and I said it to you before we started, 30 years. You've been around, which means you must love it.
Yeah, I love it.
But it also means you must be very good at it. What, and look, you could have been doing anything. You really chose to use a big part of your time to change all of these young people's lives. Why was that important for you?
I looked at the things that sort of molded me, and I felt that I had a great understanding of it. And I wanted to give the children things that I knew they needed.
What are those things that you don't think you got, but you knew how to give, and you think these kids that have come through your life need it?
I think they wanted to be listened to. I think that all humans want to be listened to. And I think that all humans have a great potential, and all humans have a great potential to make a mark in this world.
What is it about about educating these young people through theater that you think got the message across, gave them the confidence to get on with their own lives, to reach for the things they wanted and perhaps go to the next step?
Opening their imagination. Opening the imagination, and probably that was the power that I felt as a child. I can imagine, I could dream about being other places. And so that then encouraged me to have curiosity.
Yeah.
With curiosity, then it wanted to make me reach beyond. And so the first thing that I think that I open for the children is open their imagination to make them curious about life. When you become curious about life, you dream about things, you are other places, you're interested in books, you're interested in new ideas, And with the wealth of knowledge and the dreams and the ideas and the curiosity, whatever negative things happen around you, that doesn't touch you because you have your head and you go someplace else. Meaning you have a wonderful vision for life.
Yeah, and you are open to the possibilities for your own life.
Right.
I'm going to bring Sulma Arzu
That's right.
into this conversation because you were a young person through the program, and I heard a little bit of what you said about what it did for you, and I'm thinking what he says he wanted to do for young people in his life, he did that for you.
I am a product of the Actors Theater Workshop. I'm the product of this man taking me in and just embracing me. I didn't even understand the term at-risk youth, but I had a wonderful godmother, Maria Lemansky, and she was able to see that, hey, you know what? My daughter and my daughter's best friend, Sulma, live in the Hunts Point section of the Bronx. Not a lot of resources out there for all of us, but I know that these girls are meant to do something big. I was 12 years old.
12, when you first started.
When I first started. And let me tell you, when I got there, I felt that I was seen. I couldn't believe that my thoughts were very important. You know, I'm from the Afro-Latina from Honduras, and you know, the Latin culture tends to be very machista. So a girl's mouth had to be zipped, and we were taught that we don't speak until we're spoken to. When I got, you know, when Thurman took us on, he basically said, no, I need you to speak. You know, because there's power within you.
Well, what happened was Sum was sitting back of the class, and she wouldn't talk. So I said, you know, I want you to come in front. Not only that, you're going to be my assistant teacher. And sometimes I'm running late, and you're going to have to start the class.
So you issued a challenge.
And so she said, what? I said, you're going to have to teach the class, you see. And she started talking, and she never stopped. But that's what's, you know, I said, come to the front, you see, and you're going to probably have someday be teaching the class. And so she said, and all of a sudden she was in front, she was involved, she started talking, and she started exhibiting power.
Okay.
And from that itself, I said, come in front.
And that's what you wanted from your children.
Yes. And so then I created the program, and I had a vision, not only a vision for education, but the steps how to achieve it. Because you can have a vision, but you need the steps. What are the steps each day?
And you need to be able to get people to understand and see it as clearly as you do.
This program itself is almost, everything in the community is in this program. Education, how to approach a future as a young person, how to encourage people to vote, how to have power in the community, how to organize yourself, meaning how to gather the community behind you.
I would like to present Peyton.
Hi, my name is Peyton. In my picture, the 5 democracy buildings stand together and make democracy better. Each building is important for different reasons. The Congress is important because it creates the law based on the people's opinion, so it's fair. The White House makes sure that everyone knows their rights and helps deliver what the people need. The Justice Department makes sure that everyone has justice. The FBI makes sure people don't get framed and don't break the law. The Supreme Court is important because it interprets the law. Democracy is important because democracy is the ability to vote or make changes. Without democracy, we cannot make changes or stand up for ourselves. We should fight for democracy because without it, the world is horrible. People can just throw garbage on the floor and not get in trouble. And we wouldn't have the ability to vote for what was right. So I want everyone to listen to each other and let people say how they feel.
Thank you for being a part of the spirit, of this mission, because it's about people, people power. All of us have something that we want to do, we want to be a part of. And what I try to do is help people believe in themselves. There's a power inside of human beings that can decide to change anything. Change for the good. There's a power in us that can illuminate, that can inspire, that can move way beyond a perception that you may have within yourself. And nothing can take that away from you. Whatever we're learning here, I want you to operate with it in your life every day. You'll just be with the children for a few weeks, but you'll be with yourself for many, many years.
Hello.
Good.
When we come here, we're gonna learn something.
These kids are just like anybody else's kids. They're just in a certain situation.
And I think the most important thing that I take away by listening to everyone is having patience with somebody.
See, I know that everyone in this room has something very special, so when you got up here, we saw it. And as you're going to work with the children, I wanted you to know what you have and what you feel. And that's all you will ever need when you make another connection with a human being, is yourself, the specialness of you, the uniqueness of you. I want the children to have an experience. So whatever they may do, there'll be something inside of them that'll click. If they're doing it in the wrong direction, something will click inside. And they'll say, this is not who I am. And you all have that potential to make that impression upon this child. You know, someone, they can look back in life and say, she was such a kind person. If there's a few people on earth that is touched by your humanity, it's worth being on this earth. Very simple, but very powerful.
Thank you, Mr. Desert. I'm here with my teacher, Mr. Scott. I want to thank you for me and everyone that the theater has helped. Mr. Scott told me you gave him a really good lease 35 years ago. My reading and writing had improved so much since I was in the program. Thank you so much. I wrote this out, Mr. Desert, because I was afraid I wouldn't remember everything. You are a very kind man, and you've helped so much people. I represent thousands of children my age and adults. So thank you, Mr. Desert. I really love this program. I really have a lot of fun coming here. That's why I told my mom to sign me up here, because it's really fun. Writing, talking, yeah. The food is good.
So what did I do specifically to help you?
So you helped me for the reading and writing. That's why I was really focused in the test, the ELA test. I was really focused, and the teacher also saw that. She also told the principal.
So the teacher saw it, and she told the principal that you learned these things from the Actors Theater Workshop?
Yeah, and she said that was good. You did really good at the test.
Tell us how much your son has improved.
Pues he visto bastante el avance que él ha tenido y les agradezco mucho. Les agradezco mucho por la ayuda que nos dan para que él pueda participar en este programa.
She said that I improve a lot, and she said really thank you so much for helping me, that I have done really good at my homework and stuff, thanks to the whole theater.
What Thurman has taught all of us here at ATW is that the job of theater is to examine what's going on in the society and really see it and understand it using different theater techniques. At this time in our land, we're dealing with racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, biases, and that's the other thing that ATW does, is we use this powerful theatrical platform and this way of teaching people to bring very diverse people together to support their individual, unique beauty that they have inside, give them tools so that the beauty and the insights can come out, and that then the audience can get these insights. So why is this important? There's a lot of fighting and lying and distortion going on in our society right now, all around the world. Autocrats wars, killing. You have to have a way to understand and cut through the lies, and also ultimately come together with people who may have very different ways of looking at the world that you do. And that ultimately is why I am such a huge supporter and a believer in what Thurman is doing at the Actors Theater Workshop. I appreciate his leadership. I appreciate his steadfastness of having led the organization for all these years despite the great challenges. And I know unequivocally that it is very important that this work continue, because these challenges that young children like Jordan, who's one of our young people who has improved so much in just a few short months, from Jordan to all the adults that we serve, these things that we're teaching at ATW, we need them in our society, and therefore this work has to continue. So I want to say thank you for listening to this, and please be a part of what we're doing. Help us so that we can continue to help our brothers and sisters and our society, our community, because that is what we are committed to doing.
I would like to present Aiden.
Hi, my name is Aiden. The buildings that are on my paper are important for different reasons. The Statue of Liberty stands for peace and calmness. When we are peaceful, then we can work together to stop problems like racism, hate crimes, road rage, robbery, and lying. My vision is to stop these problems so we can have a better world. The other buildings I drew were the White House and the Congress. They stand as places for representatives to make the law on behalf of the people, like no littering and no vandalism. Then they share the laws with the people. I want laws to be fair. When George Floyd got arrested and killed for no reason, cops should not have had the power to do that. I would like laws against violence and hating, and for respect and sharing. My dream for myself is to make things right by starting now. I will be even more focused in school and participate more. I will try to get my grades up so I can get into a good college. I hope my ideas help you achieve your dreams.
This is New Yorker of the Week.
Joining us now in the studio is our New Yorker of the Week, Thurman Scott. Sir, thanks so much for coming in and sharing your story with us.
Thank you very much.
So take us back to the 1990s when your workshop opened. What was your early goal when this thing started out?
Well, I wanted to create an organization that I see creativity as the great equalizer. Meaning when a child stands in front of an audience and speaks and opens up her imagination, or when a child plays a wonderful piece of music, we don't think of them as saying a particular background. We just listen to the beauty, the creativity that's taking place. And I felt I wanted to create an organization that allowed you to have a process to go through so that you could, a lot of times we go to the end result immediately, but go through the process to find the best choice, the best creative possibilities that's in each child. And so the Actors Theater Workshop, it's an organization that we have presence in the community with the homelessness, but also the elderly. And we see that the nature of drama itself takes place within the community. And so the children themselves is our future. That's, if we treat the children correctly, educate them, give them a vision for the future, create possibility, give them a sense of curiosity so that they can see the future, what themselves within the future. Then we give them the tangible steps as to how to achieve that future. Meaning, what do you need to do? if you want to be an astronaut, what do you need to study? You have to have discipline. You have to have not only discipline, but you have to be aware of the various conflicts that can pull you away from your dream. And so we give them a very foundation of how to think about success, how to think about education, discipline itself each day, what it is you're doing to actualize your dream. And that's the core. And the nature of the Autistic Theater Workshop itself, it's an institution that we established 20 years ago. And 20 years ago, we established this institution that has now become not only prolific and important for New York City, but we get letters and responses from India, Africa, Asia, all over the world. So it's become a very powerful institution.
In a lot of ways, this has something to do with our democracy. Why it is? Because we don't participate. We don't participate. We say things like she or he didn't inspire me to vote. You vote because of you, your rights, your commitment. That's why you vote. It's not about being inspired. You don't need to be inspired to vote. It's about protection of the views that you have of how you see America in the world.
One of the things that I appreciate so much about the Actors Theater Workshop and the work that we do here is that the mission that we feel to use theater to look at what is going on in society and reflect it back to the people who come to our theater and see our work. We do this in the plays that we present. We also do it in our children's program, Builders of the New World. Each semester of our children's program examines a different important issue that's going on in our society. After 9/11, it was rebuilding after 9/11. Like, how are we going to rebuild in a way that isn't negative and about retribution, but to find hope after this great tragedy? One of our recent programs was called Living Up to the Ideal of Our Democracy. And we asked the children, what does that mean? What does it actually mean to live up to the ideal of our democracy? And how are you going to create a community and a world where we can do that? What are the actual steps that you have to take in order to do that?
This country is special because there are so many new people to me, and there are always new things coming ahead. Our Statue of Liberty stands for liberty and freedom. Freedom gives us the opportunity to do what we want. Justice means everything is fair and equal for everybody. This makes me happy. I want to share it with all the people.
When Builders of a New World started, I felt excited.
Mr. Scott helped me to speak clearly and not be shy to think my mind.
When I am in class, I am confident and I'm excited to answer questions.
I learned how to visualize an object, focus, and control my breathing.
They were really nice and kind to me, and they also kind of pushed me to be my better self.
I was so proud of myself because they was clapping for me.
I began to see myself as president.
I will tell other kids to join Builders of the New World because it's educational and fun at the same time.
B&W is an educational program. And when you confront education, you're dealing with physical behavior. Because you can be brilliant, but if you bring in this behavior that gets in the way, that's going to be what we see. And most of the times, someone's going to say, you know, next. Because there's so many people you're dealing with, they're going to say next. If you can't pronounce those words, we're going to teach you how to pronounce them. If you can't write, we're going to teach you how to write. If you can't look people in the eye, we're going to get rid of the shame so you can look people in the eye.
My name is Romeo, and this is my story. We share a lot with gorillas. Gorillas are my favorite animal because they represent my personality. They can be violent because people bother them and invade their habitat. Gorillas take good care of their babies, so we share that with them. They're one of the strongest animals, and they are special because they cuddle at night. Gorillas are dying, and that makes me sad. Humans are gorillas' biggest threat, so we need to learn more from them about loyalty, love, and majesty. People should respect gorillas or any animal with how they want to be treated.
India.
Hello, my name is India, and my story is about protecting animals. I drew 3 cats. Cats are unique because they have 230 bones, while humans only have 206. They have extra organs which allow them to taste the scent on the air, while humans can only smell their nose. These 3 cats are safe, and I wish other animals could be as safe as them, but they can't. But even if not all animals can be this safe, some animals can be safe if we help them. There are so many ways we can help with the animals. We can provide them with a home and food. There will be some people, of course, that already have pets, don't want to have them, or can't have them. But if you find a stray cat or dog, you can always take them to an animal shelter where they'll be looked after until they find a home. Animals can teach us to be loyal, kind, and brave. If humans see how kind, loyal, and loving animals are, they can teach us not to hurt each other.
The way that Thurman has democratized almost theater. He brings in people from corporate America, teachers, doctors, a professional wrestler, people from all different backgrounds to help be a part of the children's program, and trains the adults. And then in the process of the adults working with the children, not only do the children grow tremendously and lose their feelings of shame and apology, and their reading improves, their presentation improves. So that happens with the children. But the adults also grow immensely.
I have a special message.
I have a special message.
I feel aggressively committed to my idealism. The idealism of America.
Hello, my name is Kamari Fielder. Nafis. Cameron Baird.
Charisma Stack. Safe Hope.
Hello everybody, my name is Anton Holt and I've been here for 3 years. I already know this man, he's everything to me because he teaches me how to do a lot of stuff. So what I'm about to say and how I say it is how I learned from him.
It's about making choices. Yes. Right. And so you're making a choice. Like in drama, this is a drama program, they say it's within the choice lies the talent, meaning you make a choice that best reveals what it is you need to do in the moment. Each generation has to commit themselves to the ideals of the allegiance, meaning there's women that don't have their rights, there's people of color that don't have their rights completely, and so your job is to bring this up, to lift those up. That's what your job is. I believe in my democracy. The idealism of the Constitution. The idealism of democracy. You're thinking, you all are brilliant individuals, but a lot of times you don't think about the gift and the power that you have. You have power. Everyone in this room has enough power to lead this world. You have it.
Hi, my name is Nafis, and I'd like to introduce my story about liberty.
They're going to go to sleep on you. They're going to go to sleep now.
and you have a wonderful message, okay? So first thing, you tell them your name, that'll wake them up, okay? So, say your name, so they can hear it all in the back of the room.
Hi, my name is Nafis.
Good, that's right. Now continue. Don't drop beneath that, stay there.
And I'd like to introduce myself.
I'd like to introduce myself.
I'd like to introduce myself.
What we're doing is we're creating an educational vision, meaning everything starts with preparation of today. You're never too young to prepare for tomorrow. You have dreams, you have ideas, which means you're going to start practicing the steps. Today is how to achieve those dreams. And that comes from having a vision of where you're going in life. I feel in my blood a specialness. I'm committed to the message that I have for America. I feel good. I feel happy. I can jump up and down. I believe in myself. I'm so special. And I'm going to awaken this world. Because I have power. In this world, each one of us has a different DNA, meaning each individual has a specific thing you must accomplish on this earth. You're needed. Every life is important. And you have a wonderful gift. You have something inside of you that's beckoning to come out and to create something magnificent. And so do not dilly and dally and hold yourself back and find excuses. There's something inside of you that you want to express. And the world needs that powerful gift inside of you.
The moon was bumpy and empty. I felt free, but there was no one to share my freedom with. Being around stars in space made me miss being home in America. It reminded me of the flag of the United States of America. Flag means freedom from people. Freedom to get an education, get a diploma, get a job, have a family, and freedom to help people.
Okay, very good. That was perfect. That was perfect. We are one. With this specialist of one. We can do anything. So find your power, find your leadership, find your commitment, and go into the world and help to enlighten this world.
Wow, whenever I come here, I just feel like I'm home. Thurman fathered my imagination and gave it permission to live. He saw something that I would have never saw in myself to this day. And today, I just wanted to read this to you guys real quick, because I'm over here trying to describe like the place that I want to be a part of in the future, like in the business realm, for example. And I put here, seeking a role within an entity deeply committed to upholding values of excellence, dignity, and compassion while achieving tangible results. And I called my brother and I'm like, where on earth did all this come from? Why do I want to be in a place like this? And then tonight I'm here. And then because you showed me that it's a place that is possible. You showed me that type of possibility. In my house, I was the one in center stage, interested in everyone's stories. But you were the first one that was interested in mine. And I appreciate that. Because of you, I dignify everyone's stories, everyone's cultural background. I meet people where they are. I am interested in humanity. I became a children's book author because I saw something that I didn't want the kids in our community to ever think they're ugly. I didn't want the kids in my community to ever think there was anything wrong with them, because I found a place that told me there was nothing wrong with me. And I wanted to pay that forward. I became a community empowerment activist because there were voices like mine that were once shunned, and I wanted to let them know that there's a place in this world for their voices. And I don't have to ask myself today where on earth did this come from, because sometimes I feel like I'm alone. But being here next to you and being with each and every one of them, I know for a fact that I am not an isolated, beautiful incident. Thank you for saying everything to me. You're right, I do run the Bronx. But I do it with such a love and a heart and compassion. And I see people because you saw me first.
Yeah.
So it is a lot. It is home for me. So it's an emotional journey for me. And I thank you. Thank you so much for everything.
Humans are born in light. We discover and we learn things along the way. Because a lot of times we feel bad about ourselves and we got to make someone feel worse than us. That's the core of racism. That's the core of anti-Semitism. That's the core of all the isms. You have people that saying, well, you know, like, is something going to be taken from me? See, the issue is about this finiteness of existence. There's only a little bit to go around. That's the big lie. There's plenty to go around. There's plentifulness.
We are one.
We are one.
With this specialness of one.
With this specialness of one.
We can do anything.
We can do anything.
We can walk through the darkness.
We can walk through the darkness.
And that darkness becomes light. Because we are one. This light that shines in our hearts is love. And I believe in you. And you and you and you. We are one collective family. And with this one collective family, we can overcome the negativeness that we encounter each day. Because I am special. Don't let yourself get involved in the small things of life. There's a lot of powerful big things that you must be involved with. Meaning a lot of times there's little things in front of you and you make a huge quarrel or noise about those little things. When in reality, those little things don't really have any meaning. You will define what is big things. Those big things have meaning. And that with those big things, you're going to say if they're good things, you want the whole universe to be part of those good things. If they're bad things, things that will make people fight one another, bloodshed, well then you must fight against that. Because there is good and there is bad in the world. And so you want a world that is peaceful. You want a world that everyone has an opportunity to educate themselves. A world that is not racist, anti-Semitic, sexist. You want a world that everyone's included because everyone has a unique DNA. And with this unique DNA, they may have the power to do things that only they can do. Because we look at one another and we say there's billions and billions of people in the world. And what little me, what can I do? Little you can do many things because you're special. So don't say there's so many people, why me? You're important because you're an individual. Individual thoughts, individual blood, individuality, that's who you are. And so you must fight for good things. Now, what is the good things? The things that is going to help to develop people. There really isn't a shortage of anything in the world. There's a shortage of individuals having opportunity. There's massive goodness in the world. But there is a shortage of individuals having
ability to participate in the world. Only certain people can participate. Only certain people can have their voice. The others saying, be quiet. And when someone says it to you, you become stronger. I'm not going to be quiet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the uniqueness of me to bring peace if there's strife, to bring harmony if there's fighting. Whatever it is, you're going to bring peace. And you're going to bring the resources in the world that is not yet, we've not seen. Meaning, there's power in the world that we can use to make our lives better. In life, a lot of times you're afraid to be seen. And I see this taking place here. Some of you are afraid to be seen. And if someone don't pull your coat on it, you're going to be doing that 20 years from now. You're going to be afraid of being seen. And you know what? No one's going to care. No one's going to say, you got to be seen. We live in a society that if you don't make noise and reach for what you want, you're not going to get anything. You understand? You're not going to get anything. So get rid of that, whatever it is, it's shyness or your fear, whatever it is, get rid of it now. You understand? Because no one's going to take time to have a second chance. You have a chance, grab it. You understand? And those that is fearful to say, oh, I don't want it to you, 20 years from now, you can do the same thing. You're training that essence within you of not participating. And this world is about participating. I often say, creativity, that's the equalizer. The thing that allows you to create equalizes you on this plane. When you go to Lincoln Center or an assembly of music or creativity, and this young woman comes out and plays on her violinist, and your mind goes to the peace of heaven. You don't stop to say she's from this or she's from that. You just enjoy the moment. So that's why we say creativity is the great equalizer in the world. That was one of the corns we first got here. I was writing because I was writing about the fact that we don't have time to create. And I said, when you can truly create, because I felt that I didn't always have the time. When you truly can create, then you see what allows you to gain self-esteem. All humans have the ability to create. The so-called artist says only few of us can create. That's a lie. All humans have the power to create because all humans have different DNAs, and there's a reason that you're on this earth. You're on this earth to fulfill your mission. If you have the support to see the vision to where you can go. All of us have that. And that's what we teach the children, and that's the core of it. And with that, then they take it over themselves and they become leaders. A lot of our children, they are designers and all kind of different teachers and now professors. At one time, they were considered throwaways. But we do need to not look at the first image. A lot of times we can't see the true image of anything. Because a lot of times we have to get rid of the grease and the grime out of the way and get down to the essence. And when you get to the essence, then that's where humans come in. All humans have that essence, that power, that illuminating spirit that can overcome anything.
Reflecting on 15 years of knowing Thurman and knowing the organization, the one thing I can say is that his energy is infectious and the love of what he does is real, and every time you see him, that's what you see is what you get, and it never changes. And he's an optimist and he's in love with what he does and the people he helps, and you're inspiring. So I really appreciate that. I remember, talking about what are you trying to do and what are you trying to accomplish, and so much of that goes to just those people who don't necessarily have a voice and they don't know how to articulate the things that they want, what they feel and what they say, and that's what Thurman does. You know, through his workshops, he's teaching people to have confidence and to be able to say what you're feeling and to be able to express it. And those people leave knowing that they're being heard and that they have a voice. And years later, I know from speaking to you that those lessons that you teach are lifelong lessons. And so I commend you on that. I always say to Thurman, you do God's work here. And then I was trying to figure out what the hell God's work really is. And I looked it up, and here are some of the definitions. To be selfless, which is an obvious one. Not to be working for monetary gain, which is an obvious one. If you know anything about Thurman, who doesn't make a salary and does all of this for the love. And to care deeply for others, to strive to improve their lives with acts of goodness, to empower people, to build character, to heal their souls, which you do every day. And you know, you think about what's happening in the world, and years ago I would hear stories about when Thurman was in Israel and he tried to do programs to bring the Palestinians and the Israelis together. And he was doing that work long before we were in the crisis that we're in. And there's a lot of the programming, which is how do you give people a different perspective on what's going on, and what better way to do that, and whether it's through plays that are telling a message or bringing people together and teaching them how to speak to one another and how to speak clearly and share your views and share them in a way that's productive, that's going to allow others to communicate back and foster that communication. In closing, I want to say that what the organization does, it is truly doing God's work. It is changing people's lives, and the goal here is to figure out a way to help support it for another 30 or 60 years.
So Stella was a founding charter member of Israel. She is part of theater royalty in America. Her family came from the Yiddish theater. She's a founder of the group theater, and the group theater is what all American theaters strives to be now. She passed her theater royalty and all of her legacy to Thurman. She taught him, she developed him into the great actor he is. And so all of the people that come through the doors of the Actors Theater Workshop that learn from Thurman are learning from Stella and from Stanislavski, and they are part of a revolution that is about accepting the talent and the potential that we have within us, and that talent and potential is limitless.
I was studying acting in San Francisco and was trying to decide between going to Los Angeles or New York. And I looked at a ton of schools, and the only one that felt like a real human connection was the Actors Theater Workshop. I think part of that was that when I called, they didn't want to talk about money right away. That wasn't the focus of the interview. It was about why I wanted to study acting and what I wanted to get out of the process. And that was very different with the other interviews I had.
Studying with Mr. Scott, I was struck by his level of, when he speaks to you, it felt, and even if he's not talking to you and he's talking to someone else, you could feel how whatever he's discussing with them clearly resonates with you as an artist. When you would leave the class or you move on from the day, that you still feel those themes resonating with you, and you didn't leave them behind in the classroom, but that they were innately a part of you as a human being. It almost gave me a feeling of what it might have been like to study with Stella Adler or any of those teachers from that generation.
I think what separates him from a lot of teachers I've had in the past, he has a broader base of training that he went through himself. The number of the group theater founders and members that he's trained with, the people in Europe that he's trained with, really amount to this incredibly rich and broad scope of experience and training that he has.
Thurman was the first teacher that allowed me to discover my own voice and gave me the power to choose how I wanted to express my creativity. And it was the freest experience, yet it had a strong foundation. And it was so unique for me, and it really made me trust in this process.
He really just gives you so much insight into things that you really didn't see before. It's like looking at the surface, and he dives under that surface with you and brings you under with him. I feel like Thurman is my master Yoda. He really is this master teacher who is incredibly experienced, incredibly knowledgeable, and knows how to work with people to take them where they want to go.
Allow yourself to have enough compassion to see the full length of that person. That's love to me. If you're willing to look at that person completely and still say, that's a human being, that's a child of God, and I like this human being. My mother said something one time. I came in the house and I was upset. And she said, why are you upset? And I think I said some person did something. And she said, that's a human being. Put your faith not in that human being, put your faith in God. I mean, I've been all over the world, I've done so many things, but I still think about that. My name is Thurman E. Scott. I'm the artistic director and founder of the Actors Theater Workshop. We are a theater company. I've studied in Russia, Poland, England, France. I've directed approximately 60 plays, and I've acted in approximately 60 plays.
Today, we have 7 people that will be reading. This time, even be more lost and find, reaching for things. It's about Palestinian family, and what I'm attempting to do is to reveal the human struggle. The fact that human beings are involved in this conflict, so that people can hear the human voice being pulled apart by the realization of the conflict.
When I was in Israel, in Palestine, they asked about Shakespeare. And so I said, Shakespeare talks about every issue that you're struggling with in life, and not a drop of blood is shed. You can use the pen to write your ideas. And you can tell the great stories that's in all human beings. So then what happened? The instrument can respond because you've given it security. Theater is an institution that reflects the ideas within the community. When you dramatize the struggles within the community, you can examine and discuss and reveal. We see that moment and we say, that's what that is. That's like you and I, that's like me. I recognize that. I'm not alone. And that's the power of theater.
That's good, that's good.
Compassion for self and also other human beings. It's the ability to stop and look at the full measure of a human. To be willing to accept the avalanche of all that he or she feels. Liberates you to accept your complexity.
Glad you're here.
This is Thurman E. Scott, and I feel blessed to share this opportunity with you to learn a bit about his technique, to hear some of his writings, and to experience some of the exercises that we work with in the Actors Theater Workshop in New York. And Thurman is the inheritor of a really profound legacy from Stella Adler, coming from the Yiddish theater from Russia. So the connection to this place has many, many levels, and we all benefit from the multiplicity of his connection to this place and to these ideas.
So the first step you want for actors is to get them to experience their reality. Once they experience that, usually they're always throwing the dart back to that center because They say, I like this core feeling that I'm feeling. The first exercise I'm going to give you is something called sense memory. Now, in sense memory, it's given that reveals emotional, imagination, intuitiveness, many things that is inside to feel. Because that's a tool that opens you up, gets you expressive, breaks the linearness, because we're all going on a straight line, and so we want to break it up so it's going in many different ways.
Because I suppose the Middle East is such an, our nerves are just naked. We're all post-traumatized, I suppose. Like, if we hear a loud boom, we're all going to hit the floor. So it was very eye-opening. Like epiphany after epiphany after epiphany.
Good work, my brother.
Good work. It was fun.
Really good work.
When are you coming back?
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to set it out to try to get back as soon as I can. But also, too, I want you all to know that I'm going to be available to you. I'm going to be available. Hi. No, I'm getting hot.
We want to create the foundations of theater arts in Jenin area. And we want to make it from our people, from here. This is Batul.
Hi.
Her nickname is Jeanne d'Arc. She is the first girl on stage ever in the area. Majd is a freedom artist fighter. Yes. She lost a brother, a very dear brother. And she decided, I'm quoting her, بدي استعمل اللي انت حكيتيه, that she's going to continue the message of her brother, but not through arms, through the stage.
Through the stage.
Yeah. Good. And this is Mr. Scott.
Firstly, I come from a background that says you must use theater to support your community, because the issues of the community is hopefully issues that you're dramatizing up here. If you can find a way to dramatize that struggle, and so that people can listen to that struggle, you have more apt to change. Because when sometimes you come at people from a propaganda point of view, or from a point of view of violence, we recoil and protect ourselves. But when you put it into ideas so that they can see how your struggle embodied itself into an ideal, sometimes they're willing to listen. And the most important thing in human beings is to get their attention so they can listen. Whatever our toil may be, whatever our journey may be, is ultimately to raise spirit, raise consciousness. We look at the thousands of people that's killed, and sometimes we say, is life cheap? And it forces you to move to a spiritual level and say, there's some kind of message on a spiritual level as to what's taking place. We don't always understand what that message is, but faith, the prophet says we must have faith. Because with faith, we can go through the process and hopefully have understanding. And with the word, with the possibility of stopping to listen to the opposite of my struggle, maybe we can say, I don't understand what he's saying to me most of the times, and he doesn't understand what I'm saying. But we must understand something. The flowing of blood begets more flowing of blood. Once the blood starts to flow, you can't stop it. Shakespeare talks about the spilling of blood.
Shakespeare بيحكي عن spilling of blood, يعني على الذبح القتل.
And Julius Caesar, the Senate, all the senators, they've gotten together
كل الشريعة السنة في البرلمان حواليهم
to assassinate Caesar.
And they all love Caesar, but they're thinking that Caesar is assuming dictatorial powers. So there's approximately 12 people that stab him. And blood is flowing everywhere.
Blood is flowing everywhere.
And Caesar, Antony walks in,
أنطوني بفوت لجوا.
who loves Caesar.
شو بقى العدل؟ هو بحب سيزر.
And he looks at Caesar,
وبتطلع على سيزر.
lying on the floor,
نايم على الأرض.
and he touches the blood.
وبحط إيده على الدم.
And he says, "Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds do now I prophesy." And he prophesies.
Prophesy يعني من prophet من نبي. Yeah.
A curse shall light upon the limbs of men, and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use that mothers shall but smile when they see their sons quartered by the hand of war.
That's Shakespeare.
Cut.
Mothers would be happy.
They'll smile.
They'll smile to see their children.
Because they know they're going to be killed. But just cutting in half to get a leg or arm, to love a leg or an arm. That's happy.
But they're going to stay alive.
No, they're still dead. They know they're going to die.
Okay. This is the curse.
Yes, they're saying because what's happened is it's just like you're saying, okay, the whole body was blown up, but like a finger, I'm happy I'll bury the hand.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the curse.
Yes.
The curse. اللعنة إنه الأمهات تتبسم إنه يكون عندها شقفة جسم من ابنها تقدر تعبده وتكبره.
All pity,
شفق.
choke, push down.
All pity, push down. كل الشفق ينضغط لتحت.
With custom of killing and destroying. And Caesar's spirit raging for revenge.
روح سيزر.
Once the blood has been fled,
ساعة لما الدم انكب.
we must avenge the blood.
لازم ننتقم الدم.
So don't start the flow of blood. Because once you start the flow of blood,
لما توقفوا طريق الدم يمشي ينزل.
your brother or the opposite will have to revenge that blood.
فبتصير مرحلة انتقام. We're going to start a circle of revenge and revenge.
And revenge continues.
Yeah.
This is why Mandela,
لذلك مانديلا
27 years in jail.
27 سنة بالسجن.
When he was over, he said, "No more spilling of blood. It stops today. It stops. Now, one person, but let me kill one more time to avenge my brother. Just one more. No more spilling of blood."
It was a great
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Life stories. I think it rejuvenates the elderly because it talks about their glory days, and they'll bring those glory days back and share them with people that's younger. and it will help them. Now, different societies, they glorify that. But America has a tendency to say, no, move on, we got to move to something else. But humans, because we never get in touch with our uniqueness, the thing that's unique within ourselves that wants us to worship that power within ourselves, we look for acceptability and perfection in other things. So what life stories will do is bring back and share information that one of the things that we have today is we have a new family structure, things falling apart. And we need to have the wisdom of individuals that have gone through things that can share back with us. And what is that going to do? That's going to help those individuals. That's going to say, oh, you know, like to give you this because you see another dimension of me. And this person over here is going to say, oh, yeah, God, I'm learning so much. It's not just life stories with the elderly. We're doing stories with the police. We're doing stories with the military. We do the same thing with women. We do the same thing with people of color. It's the same thing. And so, thank God there's a metamorphosis of all of us. It's just something's changing in us for the better. But we also have to look at how we got where we are now, and we have to look at the fact that there's no one that's immune from any of this, and everyone has experienced these things. All races have experienced that. But we can say there's movement and there's change. And so the life stories is about dealing with beliefs that we have so locked within ourselves about that's the way it is. Also, too, police, and now you say, this is a strange Negro. I'm talking about protecting the police. I understand that, but that's part of my job. My job is I'm gonna deal with everything. I know police. And every person that I know, they're not what the newspapers say. And it's not just the newspapers. A lot of them do those things. I'm aware of that also. Because a lot of times your life is only about a certain thing. That's all you see. And sometimes a person like that gets nervous because he can think. He looks at me and he says, he's probably thinking about what I did yesterday. And no, I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about the fact that you deal with complexity, that the city don't give you enough training. That's what you're dealing with. We're all dealing with that. You're dealing with things that someone haven't given you what you basically need, so you revert to something that you think you know. And that's then undermines it for the many others. And that's how prejudice, that's how hatred of one another develop. And then at the same time, your everydayness, that's all you see is people that's in the street. You don't meet me, talk to me. And now when I say that in a room like this, you say, ooh. You know, because we're in New York City, you know what I'm saying? So we need to look at all of these things. We need to know that there's people that's different than us that we can actually love. Because that's how we're going to change America. People that's different, that's different than you, that thinks different than you. Mm-hmm. What can they say to you? That's what's important. Not the people that think like you, mm-hmm. that those is different.
I want you to write a short paragraph about what are you trying to do in your life? Why? You're creating something. You're bringing light. You're bringing understanding. You're bringing a sense of worldliness. Because it's fine to stand up and say, I want to do these things, but what are the impediments? What do you think stops you from doing it? Because we got to get rid of that. That's the issue.
I learned that I have the power.
Good.
You know, and I control my destiny.
Now, what I would like you to do, everyone take a pencil and a piece of paper. At whatever age you had a lot of dreams, that's what I want you to write down, the impressions of those dreams. What were your dreams? Because those dreams are still with you today. They may articulate themselves differently, but they're still with you.
Be excited about your dreams. Have enthusiasm about your dreams. And have hope and faith in your dreams. Who would like to share their dreams? Susan?
What I can remember is, because I was going to be starting a new school, that I would have lots of new friends and fun and parties and travel.
One was being an archaeologist. Other was being really a successful businessman. And then helping my family get out of poverty. And really just being a difference maker.
A difference maker. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So what I had down was educator, traveling the world to learn different cultures. And then by learning cultures, understanding better what all mankind is about. That was my goal at 12.
If you look at the success of one human, one person in the world, usually it's one person that bends the world, and then others followed. We all have that possibility within ourselves. Everything that happens is an opportunity, really. If you frame it correctly, everything is an opportunity.
So as always, when I'm doing these exercises with you, something different comes out of it. Something that allows me just to rethink, and still that creativity becomes very important. Anything I can do in my life that really expands me, I really enjoy.
The big thing for me, takeaway, is just really to kind of use this pause that we have going on to dream about tomorrow. Now it's time for me to dream about the next chapters in my life. So that's what I take away from me, is just take the quietness of the world that's, in certain places where you have that opportunity, and just dream about, how you can make tomorrow different and how you're going to be part of that difference.
So it was very reassuring and inspiring to be reminded that change can be really positive as well as negative, and that our attitude towards it is really important. And having a positive attitude towards change and dreaming big is important.
What you brought tonight was just an opportunity for us to claim a new beginning.
Yes.
To see this whole thing in a different light.
The first step towards any action is to dream about what it could be. So when you want to build anything, the first step will always be to dream.
Open mic is about that. Everyone should have a voice. What are you talking? What are you thinking about that day? What is it? What do you have to say about that day? What are you struggling with in life? What is America struggling with? And if all of us have a voice, that we can have an opinion, it keeps the mind in curiosity. The mind is thinking about many different things, but it's not locked into a hatred. It's not locked into one-dimensionalness. And all of us have something to learn.
The reason why we started the open mic is because Thurman and we all really agree that the theater is a place for us to grow and to share, and everyone has a voice. Everyone has something special that they can share with the world, and we believe that it's very important. So I think it's really special for us to have this time now, so we can share, we can reflect, we can have impressions.
Raina, people believe what they want to believe, what they set up in their minds to believe. Look, I know what it was like when I was gone all the time, not bringing home any money, but you could have noticed that I was tired. You could have said, Darnell's not talking because he's tired.
Assure me someday I'll meet somebody, and I will shed my skin, and my head will spin, and I'm fragile, you can break me.
But you know what? Everybody in here today made me smile.
Yeah.
Every one of you. And that is very inspirational, because whatever you do, it transpires to the community. And I just love this space, because what it did for me today is just inspire me to continue to say, you know what, it's possible.
Corporate outreach is a program where a lot of times corporations are doing things to create more synergy with people, more productivity. They do things like playing baseball games, but so what we're doing is we're creating programs. They will tell us what they need to do to help their culture. And then we, as a theater, we will create a program specifically that's articulating their needs. And so, from my perspective, I want to give them something if I'm getting something from them. It's an exchange where we give them something and they give us something. Meaning you go to HR and you say, in your company, what is it that you have here? What are your needs in this company? And they will tell us, and they will give us a list of people that they feel that could be a part of this journey. And what we're providing, we're not going out with a hand saying, give me. We're going out saying we can exchange something. We actually will create a structure that will articulate the issues that they feel they're having in their culture. Mm-hmm. And that way, what we're doing, we're creating a relationship.
I think what I really want to say to you is that each one of us are leaders. Each one of us has the power. Each one of us has the vision. There's something that you can do to change your community.
I found this program through Google. I was looking for a volunteer opportunity, something to do with the arts, something I could do outside of work. And I found ATW.
I thought this was a one-day program. I thought I was coming for 2 hours, and that turned into like a 12-week program.
I looked at the process and I was like, this sounds like it would be fun. It's kind of cool.
Being a mentor here at the Actors Theater Workshop has definitely opened up my mind to what I could achieve just personally and who I am, and it gives me more confidence than I would usually have.
It was really amazing to be a mentor. I think I learned a lot about myself through the children.
I learned that you have to be committed. Commitment is a big part of the creative process.
What I learned about the creative process is honestly, don't forget about it. Like it feels almost that creativity is saved for a younger self.
When I first started, I was like really quiet. And then when I heard Thurman talking about the affirmations, it just made it so much better for me.
Learning from Mr. Scott and hearing his lectures reminded me to have confidence in myself, believe myself, embrace the creative side of me.
It's actually an education in itself to be with children because they are so open-minded and they are so interested in the world. But I think I learned in myself just different level of compassion that came through to the kids because they're just so lovable and so willing to learn and be a part of something.
I learned that children are so very aware of what community means and what that can bring to their lives and how it impacts everybody around them.
Being empathetic towards other people is only helping your community, which then helps you.
It was such a diverse community, from the kids to the mentors to the senior staff. Just the wealth of experience that they brought to the program and the diversity of backgrounds that the kids brought mixed in with this very eclectic group of mentors coming together.
ATW has reminded me that my community is there. It's there when you need it. And it's been really, really wonderful being in a space with lots of people. So many different people from different backgrounds. It's really magical.
I've just never seen anything like it. And I just think anybody that has the opportunity to participate in the program and really commit to it, you get so much out of it.
The impact that Mr. Scott has had for me personally, I'm looking forward to working with him again and the program in any way possible.
I want the children to engage with the mentors, to know that we're connected together, we'll always be connected, that you're never alone. A lot of what we're talking about is, I think that people want to do certain things, but they don't have the know-how, they don't have the support, and they give up. I think that we are good people. I think that Americans are good people. And I think that we're positive people, and I think that we can do wonderful things. You know, we got to get back to what each one of us can do. And we got to find out, we got to say we know who we are and what we represent. And we got to stop thinking that we can't, no one can hear us. We can hear ourselves because we live in a collective consciousness, meaning the thoughts that's inside of you, the images inside of you, the belief that's inside of you is powerful enough to generate change without you even speaking it. That's what we need to be aware of. The life force inside of you can change. And if we understand that, then we know that we are on the right track, and we don't need someone to approve us. You say, you don't need anyone to approve you. The nature of your existence, the nature of your creator, you've been approved already. You say, that's all we need to remember. And if we know that, then there's no limitation. You say, and if someone don't want to join you, you're a force of one by yourself because you know what's inside of you. Biblically, it says if there's one person that will bleed for the powerful ideas of existence, life, this world can be changed. So keep remembering that.